Let's bring Dusan in. He's a former finalist here in Monte Carlo.
Dudesy.
Nice to meet you.
What up, guys? What up?
You got myself,
How are
you got Nolsey, you got Nick Monroe. We were just talking about how you got the day off. You got your first round match against Flavio Gaboli. What's your schedule looking like today, Dusan?
Yeah, I just finished practice with Sasha Zverev. Had some lunch here in the beautiful beach club, which is completely new players village. I don't know if you guys want to see this.
Yeah,
See if we can turn the camera around.
Ooh, baby. Cheat.
So it's looking very bougie.
I think Monroe's coming out of retirement. He likes environments
I'm gonna come join you over there. Dudes.
He's probably still fit to play.
Dudes, only if we play little doubles. But yeah, man, tell us what you like about playing there in Monte Carlo. We know you made the finals there in 2019, losing to Fabio Fognini, and that's got to be some great memories there for you playing there in Monte Carlo. And now you've gotten through 2 rounds of qualies and going to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, it's just everything. The club is really beautiful. You know, you play with a view. The courts are impeccable. I mean, I like that the courts are a little bit harder, which is kind of bouncier on a good day. If it's a little bit cold like today, it's a bit slower, but, you know, the rest of the days when it's sunny, I feel like it suits my game the best. And I've just had overall great experiences here. And as you said, 2019 was my best year here. So I played some great tennis, and I kind of like coming back here, just get that aura back and bring out the memories. So I think that I'm slowly starting to play, you know, as I did before. Like last year, I had some issues with the injury end of the season, so I'm just, you know, still finding my best form, and I think I'm on the right track right now.
Nice stuff. Dudesy, Nolsey here. Obviously, we're showing the highlights of that great run in 2019. You mentioned a little bit cloudier today. You prefer when it's a little bit sunnier or cloudy, or do you have a preference?
Yeah, for me, the hotter the better. I love when it's sunny, when it's, you know, when I can get that kick working and spin bouncing. So for me, the hotter the better. And, you know, especially playing with my old school racket from the 70s, it's hard. You know, as soon as the temperature drops, my ball goes much slower because my string pattern is 18, 20, 95 head size.
Oh, wow.
So it's like I've been struggling a little bit trying to change as well, but not working.
That's interesting. The 18-20 on the dirt. So are you trying 16-19, or what are you thinking?
I've tried all, but, you know, I just couldn't get myself to change, and I think now I'm a bit too old to start changing rackets.
On serve here, 4-5 second set, hanging out with Dusan Lajovic. We had fun with Gael Monfils the other week when he was on the show, and we were kind of making fun of the fact that even though he gets older, he continues to just want to play defense and play the same way, and the dude can run for days. You're 34. That is not old in real life, but some people think that's old in sports life. As time goes on, have you had to actively think about changing tactics or different ways to finish off points? Anything like that happening at this stage?
Well, yeah, I just feel like I had to change my tennis a little bit in the last 2-3 years because I feel like tennis changed a bit. From my perspective, it feels like the players are, you know, much more powerful today. They can produce shots like from any position on the court. They just go for it, and it just feels like there is more power to the shots. But because everybody is like stronger, fitter, they're also everybody can like defend and all this. But if you're just playing defensive, I don't think it's working in today's tennis. Obviously, Gael is one of the best defenders in the world, and, you know, when he's defending well, it's really hard. Doesn't matter who you are. But I would say that, you know, we see with Daniil a little bit struggling with kind of like staying too far back. I feel like that you need to stay closer to the baseline in today's tennis to be relevant.
Dusan, I mean, we're watching Musetti here with a sweet one-hand backhand, but you have probably the sweetest one-hand backhand on the tour, at least for my money. I mean, you're able to take it down the line. You got an amazing slice. What age did you start with the one-hand backhand? And give us some tips to how to hit a one-hand backhand, because it's absolutely cash.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. I'm just as like with my first tennis lesson, I started one-hander because I had no clue about tennis, and the coach said you're gonna play one-handed backhand, and that's it. I've never tried two-handed backhand, but I don't know. I just feel like for me, when my backhand is working the best, it's probably when I'm taking it early and when the timing is there. I feel like the left hand also gives you a little bit of extra balance there. You need to like you need to swing back with the left arm to have that balance. And as you said, like probably one of my favorite shots is backhand down the line. Made me a few bucks over the years, so I'm still going strong there with that one. 1-2 kick wide backhand down the
Yeah.
line, but sometimes it's working, but lately it hasn't been there, so just slowly coming back.
So still building homes and buying cars with the 1E. So you talked about the one-hander, and you talked about the changes in the game today, guys being bigger, stronger, faster. Would you teach a youngster a one-hander or two-hander?
Unfortunately not. If I would be a coach, I would just start teaching them two-hander, because the rackets and the technology of the rackets, I feel like it's just too much suitable for two-handed backhand.
Game point for Boo. One thing I've always enjoyed about your game, Dusan, is that you will throw in, you got the great kick serve, you'll stand way out wide on the ad side. Not a lot of people mess with the serving position, and you'll throw in a couple serve and volleys in big moments. Do you feel like you throw in serve and volley on the ad side more so on clay? Maybe for the players at home, what's something you're looking for, a cue, when you are going to throw that in?
Definitely. I just feel like if you have the mentality of being proactive on the tactics, it's much better than if you're doing it out of fear or out of panic. So like, don't do it if you feel like you're panicking to stay in the moment. If it's a pressure point, do it as a way of being like, I don't know, just focusing on that shot, what you want to do. Like for me, every time I've played serve and volley with like the right mindset, was like, I want him to feel that I'm coming at him. I don't want him to feel that I'm doing something to change because I don't feel comfortable in the overall game.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
this is also from like, even when I'm like, that's what I would separate probably when I'm confident and when I'm not confident. If I'm confident and I'm playing serve and volley or drop shot or whatever, I feel like there's more commitment to that shot than when you're not confident and you're just panicking and you want to keep the point short because you don't want to stay there and feel that emotion of panic, of pressure and everything. So for me, it's very emotional. When I feel that I'm in the right mindset, I know that the tactic is right, and doesn't matter who is on the other side, it's working. Like, that's one of the things that, it's tactical, but it's more emotional for me. In the right moment, in the specific moments, when you throw in serve and volley, it's working perfectly, and the opponent just kind of stays surprised because you're not using it that often. So he's not really ready for it. But obviously, it's not working every time. But when it's working, I think it's very effective, especially today when also have some players standing far behind on the return.
And Duti, you're one of the few players that stayed with your coach for as long as you have. You started working the Jose Perlas in 2016. You got up to 23 in the world in 2019. So you've been with him almost 9 years. What do you love about his coaching? What has he brought to you? I mean, I've known him. I've seen him. You guys do a lot of hard yards. What do you like about his coaching aspect?
Well, the first thing that probably was for me a big revelation was before we started working together. Like, I would say my biggest issues were self-doubt and not being confident in my own shots and my own game. So having conversation with him and him coaching I think 3 number ones in the world or whatever, if coach like that approaches me and believes in me, that gives me some reassurance that I'm on the right track. But overall, just his knowledge of tennis. I mean, he's been there since forever, and he just holds tennis in his pocket. And his methodics are, I think, probably changed over the years as well, because coming from Spain, they had clay court specialist all over the years, but had to adjust a little bit to the tennis today. And I just feel that he's very good psychological coach as well, which is very important because, as we know, like everything is at the end about how you manage the situation, how you manage the pressure points, and I feel like that's something that maybe players overlook when they're looking for the coach, and then they are looking for another person to join the team and do that part instead of the coach. But I feel like that coach can, have that in his resume as well. Like it should be a well-rounded person that can help you, psychologically as well, not just tactically or tennis-wise, technique, and that's what Jose has been doing all these years. And I think that for me, it's also a process. I like to stay with the same team. I don't know, feel kind of like loyal to the people that are around me. And if I surround myself with the quality people, I feel like that this is something that works the best for me.
And Dusan, you've had such a successful career. You're so well liked by your peers, so well respected by your peers, but you also represent your peers. You're on the Player Advisory Council. Maybe talk a little bit about that. The general fan doesn't understand, the commitment for you guys that elect, to choose that position to represent your players and kind of what goes into it. Like, what motivated you to be on the Player Advisory Council?
Well, I think the biggest motivation for me was being on tour for so many years and seeing the ins and outs of the ATP and the whole system. I feel like if there is anything that I can add or kind of like help change or bring some new things, I feel like if my peers are, putting their confidence in me, I feel like I will take the role. And especially being 34, 35, I feel like all the decisions that I'm like, all my perspectives are kind of like non-biased, because by the time these changes apply, I won't be on tour anymore. So it's not really coming from my individual kind of like what would be the best for me. So I can see it from a different side is what would be the best for the players. I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes sense, of course.
And that was my approach. That was my approach, because I feel like, when you're on the council and everybody has different opinions, that's okay, but also like depending on where you are at the moment, like your opinions are kind of like backed with what you would like to change, because you feel individually that's your problem, but that's not maybe problem for everybody else. So that's why I feel like, being on like last couple of years of my career, everything I say, everything I do is not going to affect me and my career, because it's going to come later, because all these decisions take time to, implement. And that's how I looked at it.
It's tough.
Way to give back. 6-5 now. Need a hold for a second set buster. We just had that. We just had a graphic of you, all your accomplishments. I don't know if this is still true. It could have been one of those things on the ATP bio, but I think you own a coffee shop. I wanted to let you know that Nolzi here. We're in at like 5 a.m. today. This dude has never had a cup of coffee in his life. So I want to know about your love for coffee. How many cups do you have a day? And I don't know, what do you need to say to this guy?
Meanwhile, he's never had a cup of coffee, and
chocolate.
he has like 5 cups throughout the show. So we need to get some of your coffee here.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, that's going to be tough, because we sold that just before COVID. December 2019, we sold the coffee shop.
Probably a good move.
It was
good move there.
It was a good move, yeah. Good timing, but
Tariffs.
I don't know. I mean, during tournaments and on the road, I try to drink maybe 2-3 cups of coffees a day. But the worst timing is going back home and just seeing all the friends. By 2 p.m. I'm already on my 6th espresso, and my heart is pumping, and I feel like I'm gonna have going into jumping on over the building. But I'm trying to just keep it in normal sizes, like 2 to 3 a day. I think it's a good amount. But I don't know. I love coffee. I love the whole ritual of having a coffee. Doesn't matter if it's a coffee or tea, but sit down, maybe reminiscent about life a little bit, and especially in the afternoon, like 4 or 5 p.m. You get a little cappuccino, nice cappuccino.
Well, I mean, I think you mentioned it. You would have coffee sometimes even before matches. So now that we're not doing that, kind of what's your pregame match meal, and what do you take for energy on the court? Because again, we got in here at 5 a.m. Nolzi and I were kind of like, all right, I need some coffee. Nolzi just needs some hot chocolate. But what do you take before going on the court for a little extra energy?
Cappuccino for Nosy. What's it called? The one
like the
dogs buy in Starbucks.
like the virgin one. Like the virgin coffee.
Yeah. Well, normally what I eat, like rice with olive oil and some Parmesan cheese.
Oh,
That's
nice.
what I eat before the matches. It's pretty bland, but it does the work. And during the matches, I take gel bananas, sometimes banana bread.
Banana bread. Nice.
Banana bread, yeah. I figured that helps me, especially in Grand Slams, like over the long period. Like I feel like I need some hard carbs, and it helps, especially if it's not too sweet or whatever. So I eat little chunks of banana bread, and I have one thing that's called cramp fix. That's the thing I buy in Australia. It's in case I have cramps.
Oh, wow.
It takes like 30 seconds before you feel the cramps are coming. If you drink it, it takes like 30 seconds to go away. Or if you get cramps, it takes like about 2 minutes to go away. So it's pretty effective.
Wow, how did you find out about that? Because I've never heard about that in Australia. I think a lot of players might need that.
I've randomly heard about it. I checked it. I bought it in Australia, and it's doing the job. Like it's
awesome.
really disgusting. Like when you take a sip, you're like,
juice?
you wanna vomit.
Worse than pickle juice or not?
It's worse. Yeah.
Worse.
It's worse.
Some people like that.
I love pickle juice.
Oh, so bad.
Oh.
Can you see the tennis?
Yeah, it's worse.
Can you see the tennis? Are you on your phone? Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone. I see the tennis. I see you guys.
Okay, cool. We got another set point from Musetti. Can we get some thoughts on your first round match? Because you've already played 2 matches there. You're taking on Flavio Cobolli tomorrow. Just got his first career title in Bucharest, and you've played him before. I believe you won in 2 tiebreakers last year in Umag, 7-6, 7-6. What do you remember about that matchup?
Yeah, it was a tough match. I mean, Flavio is a great guy. I think he's on upcoming guy, and he's got a pretty good game.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That was
Dusan backhand right
That was
there.
a Dusan backhand on the line, return winner.
A little replay coming for you.
Well, that's big on the set point.
Jeez, was that off of a first
But
serve?
I think that it's going to be a tough match. He's coming off from his first title, pretty confident. I don't think, he's going to be tired, maybe emotionally exhausted and all this, but, Bucharest is 2 hours away, so it's not like a big trip or whatever. So, I'm expecting a tough match. I've won 2 matches here, which is kind of like, maybe an advantage for me, but the tournament starts tomorrow for both of us, actually. And I'm just looking forward to go out on the court because I finally was able to find my rhythm a little bit in the last couple of weeks and to, bring the OG Dusan back. But
the OG, I love
I'm just enjoying on the court right now. Yeah, I'm just enjoying on the court right now and finally finding my groove back. And I'm ready to use every moment here that I have to play a couple more good matches. And I feel like it came in the last moment because also this tournament was the last tournament for French Open, getting points for main draw, which I was like a little bit on the borderline. So now I would say 90% safe.
Nice.
So let's see how this week's go and, can finally relax a little bit and, play kind of like with a little bit of relief. So that's a good feeling to have.
And playing with a little bit of swag. And before we let you go, kind of tell us about the conditions. It's at 57 degrees. It seems cool. How's the ball playing over there?
It is. Today it's a little bit different than obviously Saturday and Sunday, but I think that it's not a major difference. A little bit windy in the morning, but now it died down. The wind died down. And I think tomorrow is going to be kind of similar. So it's a good day to play tennis. And coming from Bucharest where it was pretty cold, it's a big difference. So, I mean, it's for, April, whatever, 7th, 8th, it's a good weather to play.
Really cool for you to hang out with us on your off day. Best luck in the first round. I know this is the time of year when you pump it up and good things happen. So best of luck in the first round and hope to catch up soon.
Yeah, that 1 week in the year where I play good.
Let's bring the OG Doozy back, baby. Bring the OG Doozy. Make the finals run.
The OG.
Finals run.
I'm gonna start playing bingo or lottery this time of the year.
There you go. Go to the casino, baby.
I love it.
Good luck,
Yeah.
Doozy. Thanks for coming on,
Thanks
man.
a lot.
Enjoy your day
Thank you
off.
guys. Pleasure.
Bring the OG
Enjoy.
back.
See
Enjoy.
you
Good
guys.
luck, buddy.